Price is not the reason your coaching isn't selling. If you're a personal trainer or other health and wellness professional or coach who wants to start and grow a profitable business in the online space, and you find yourself asking one or more of the following questions: how much should I charge for online coaching? Or maybe you're asking, is my coaching too expensive for the online space? Or maybe, is coaching dead? Are selling digital courses dead? If that's you, this episode's for you. What's up, coach? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the PT Profit Podcast. I'm your host, Beverly Simpson. And today I'm breaking down the answers to the question, how much should I charge for my online? If you're new around here, thank you so much for joining me. I'm super pumped that you're here. As a former district fitness manager and someone who's generated over 7 figures online with over 10 years experience, I hear this question a lot. How much should I charge for my online personal coaching? I hear this question a lot. How much should I charge for my online coaching? Well, my answer first comes from the best business model training that I did a couple weeks ago. I'll link it up here. So if you need a refresher on that, go ahead and check out that video. But essentially what your business needs to have are these 3 main offers. The first is the premium offer. Now, the premium offer, some people call this the high ticket offer, but for me, I'm really looking at the premium offer, which is going to be the signature program that you want to be known for, that you want to consistently sell over and over and over again. I've had clients that range anywhere from $250 all the way up through $5,000. But the premium offer is the main offer. And what I will say, and with the coaches that work with me who love coaching and they want more clients, these people are going to be in that $1,500 to $5,800 range, with really 3,000 being that sweet spot. Then you're going to have your accessible options. I like to teach low ticket offers. So low ticket offers usually stacks. The first is the front end. That's going to be anywhere from $9 to $27 for a tool, or anywhere from $27 to $97 for a course or workshop or do-it-yourself implementation. Then you're going to have order bumps. So this is going to be that side dish that will enhance that front end. So they can be companion offers, which again can range anywhere from $9 to $37. And then you're going to have a one-time offer, final offer. Now, this is where you're going to have your mid-range pieces of content, have a full sales page there. And those are going to be in the $47 to $195 range. So now let's break down, how do we come up with that type of pricing? We're going to unpack the model first pricing framework, because the truth about pricing is that price is not the reason your products and services do not sell. That might be the number one reason why people tell you that they're not signing up for you. But then haven't you ever wondered, okay, you said you can't afford this, but then next week you're off to Italy for your children's spring break? So they're not really telling you that they can't afford it. What they're really saying is the perception of value is not worth the asking investment measured against the cost of not getting started. If I were to tell you that you can have this brand new iPhone for free with unlimited upgrades, and it's free, versus this amazing nail file that's used, and this is also free, which one are you getting if you could only pick one? Or what if I told you this was $25? Unlimited upgrades for $25, used nail file for $25. Haven't you noticed that the price is the same, but the perception of value is different? Then what if I told you, get this $25 iPhone, unlimited upgrades forever, and you can never buy another iPhone again? Notice how the consequence or the cost of not buying intensifies the value? So the real question isn't, what should I charge? The real question is, how can I position this offer to be worth 10 times the asking investment? Because people move away from pain faster than they move towards desire. So if the pain of the problem is larger than the risk of change, then they will move. So the real question isn't, what should I charge? The real question is, what is the value that's 10 times worth the asking investment measured against the cost of not getting started? People move away from pain faster than they move towards pleasure. So the pain of the problem needs to be bigger than the potential cost of making change. And most people get that wrong. If the problem is not big enough, then the desired outcome, then your program coaching service becomes a luxury, nice to have. And in this economy, with the uprising of GLP-1s and other peptides, as well as AI tools, program your coaching, it needs to be a need. So let's walk through 3 common traps that most coaches fall into without even realizing it. The first is most people are pricing on commodity, meaning they go out into the world and they go, what are my colleagues charging? And this is a trap because that's like going into the grocery store, buying a banana, and then creating a banana stand. So most people go and they look out into the space and they ask themselves, all right, well, what are my colleagues charging? Oh, I'm new, so I'm just going to charge less. That's pricing on commodity, and it's the fastest race to the bottom. Because imagine if you went into the grocery store and you bought a banana and then you went to the corner of your street and you set up a market. Now you're charging bananas for 10 cents less. That's making price the differentiating factor. And that is pricing on commodity. And you can't outwork time. So being the cheaper option isn't always the highest value. Think about motels and the Ritz-Carlton. The functionality of the experience is essentially the same, but the experience is different. So then the second trap people get into is imposter syndrome. So let's talk a little bit about this. I feel like it could be its whole own episode. But the fact that you feel like an imposter is actually a good thing, and most people think that it's a problem. But think about it like this. The fact that you feel like you are an imposter means that you care. It means that you don't want to hurt another person. Because in the health and wellness space, our first rule is do no harm. But if you go into the online world, throw a quarter, and you're going to find a coach or someone claiming misleading information that could potentially cause people harm. And so we start to feel like, ooh, who am I to be sharing this insight or this info? And it leads us to start thinking, I'm an imposter. What are my colleagues going to think or say? And that can feel stressful. But then what happens, and it's similar to the trap of number 1, which is you start thinking, oh, I just need to be cheaper. I need to be the cheaper option. And then what ends up happening is that you undercharge for your services, and either one or multiple things start happening, meaning you attract people who are not yet ready for the transformation that you are wanting to provide, and you call in people who are not committed. They don't show up, they don't do the work, they're always canceling, they're not coming to calls. Or what ends up happening is you attract people who start blaming you. They start thinking that your program's the reason why they're not getting results, even though you literally cannot do their push-ups for them. And so then 3, people will price on fear and not values, because the question becomes, how do I actually price my programs and services? So let's take a look at what the model pricing actually looks like. And the first step that we actually need to look at is how people determine value. And so the first thing that we need to think about is, what is the desired outcome that your people actually want? And when you're so crystal clear on this and you sell them what they want, this is how you will actually turn someone who's never heard of you before into a customer or client. The next lever that you have is speed. What is the speed of implementation required to get the desired outcome? You want to have somebody purchase. You need to help them get the result faster. I want you to think faster and convenient. Then you're going to take a look at the effort and sacrifice required on their part. And then you also need to look at the belief in themselves that they can do it, all wrapped up in the experience of getting the desired outcome. So the value ladder looks like this. And when you get this right, this is how you make your offer so irresistible, so good that it sells itself. So what you want to be looking at is the 4 layers of value. You've got do it yourself. And if we're going to think of speed and convenience as our number one lever, I want you to think about the do it yourself. If they were to study and become an expert, your level of expert, think about how much time and money they would need to spend and effort they would need to spend in order to acquire that level of expertise. Okay, so your first layer of value stacking. So as this goes up, meaning resources needed to fulfill, then this goes up, which is the value. Okay, so if the bottom is do it yourself, think about already how much time you're going to save them by giving them a periodized program, which is literally do it yourself step by step. You're already adding value going from do it yourself by spending hours of time because you're beginning to save them resources, time, energy, and effort. And as you go up in this model and increasing value, then that's because you're also increasing resources needed to fulfill. Okay, then you're going to go up into the done with you model. So the more resources required in time, energy, effort, money, you're increasing value. But why are you increasing value? Well, it's because you're going to get their desired outcome faster, because now you're taking some of the work, you're going to remove some of that effort and sacrifice. Then because you're going to be there holding their hand, removing their roadblocks and helping them identify blind spots, their belief in themselves that they can do it is also going to increase. All of this is going to help them get their desired outcome faster. And when you can move away from pricing on commodity, then you're going to be able to enhance the experience to help them see that they're getting all of this. They're getting all of this, and it's requiring less effort and less sacrifice to get their desired outcome. So it's not a matter of how can I just charge and be the most expensive person, because think of it, and just because something is expensive doesn't necessarily mean that it's valuable in the same regard, or have high value. In the same regard, if something was free doesn't mean that it's valuable. Price is not what determines the value. Because if you had a cat and I was giving away free dog food, that's not going to be valuable to you. So then you have the done for you experience. Now, the done for you is going to take the most resources because you cannot get your time back. And when you value your time over your money, you end up having plenty of both. Time you cannot get back, money we can always find. So usually done for you is going to require the most resources, which is why it's going to be adding the most value. All of these things are going to help them get the result faster. Why? Because now there's literally no effort. You're going to do it for them. So that's going to increase speed and convenience to get their desired outcome. And then the belief in themselves, they don't even need that. This becomes null. So it's important when you're making your pricing decisions that you're evaluating how people determine value, because you likely wouldn't pay $3,000 for a Butterfinger, but you might pay $3,000 for a Butterfinger if you were on a deserted island and you hadn't eaten for 30 days. So the way that you stack your offers and how you position and put those offers together. So for my clients, I like to start with the premium offer first. This way you can get that cash infusion. And things that work real well here are done with you group coaching programs, done with you coaching programs where you also have one-on-one implementation, and you want to think of the ways that you can help them implement action so that they can get results faster. So ask yourself, what if you were to fly to someone's house right now and actually do the work for them? What would that look like? And what are the things that you could pull from that type of offer construction and put that into your implementation process? So if you're going to give them meal maps or meal plans or different of your favorite restaurants, can you give them a downloadable Instacart that is going to speed up all of the ingredients that they would need to put it into the cart? Is there a way that you can think of meals that are ready made that you could send to them? What are the things that you could put into your programs to help them expedite their results? So that premium offer is going to be the done with you or the done for you option. So if you were, I had 2 clients that fly to their clients and stay there for a weekend, and they charge anywhere from up $10,000 to $200,000 for that type of service. So your premium offer can be that coaching program that is going to be the implementation. What can you provide that is going to help your client get the result faster? For us, I have that implementation portal, which is literally you answer a couple of questions. I click a couple buttons. I review the assets that are put together, and it immediately can get put into your programs. That it can immediately get put into your assets, and you could literally just start generating revenue within 3 days. So what are the things that you could do for your clients that are going to help increase convenience and speed to get the desired outcome? So now your accessible options can be in a stack. So the way that I like to think of your front end accessible offers is I like to create customers, so buyer leads. These are going to be offers that you put in front of the 95% of your people who are in a problem. They just might not yet be ready to buy a premium offer yet or a premium solution to this problem. Or maybe they think that maybe they themselves are, I'm not sure if I even need that. So this front end offer is going to give them their first win. This is the front end offer that's going to help create a customer or a client. It's going to be, this first offer is a customer that is going to help prime a premium client. And you prime a premium client by either solving the first problem that's going to give them the win that they need to deepen the sense of trust in your process, and then demonstrate and show the next problem that they're going to experience, which your premium offer will solve. So for example, for me, my clients sometimes really struggle with offer creation. So I will create a program to help them build a program in a weekend. And then once they sell it, once they have that offer now, then we can grow and scale it with the low ticket funnels. Or my clients tell me all the time that they just need more leads to put in front of their offers. So then I created the 90 days done for you content so that they can literally create conversion content. And then when they realize, oh, I have all this conversion content, but no one's buying, then we need to take a deeper look at their offers and maybe potentially the funnel system that they have set up to generate new audience members, new customers, and new clients. So that's what we're looking at in the front end accessible offer. And there are 3 tiers. And so the first is going to be that first impulsive buy must have that's so easy. That literally the decision is, oh, it's going to solve this problem. I want you to think tools. So do-it-yourself tools organized step by step to help save time, get result faster than if they were looking on YouTube University. Books, tools, short courses. Then you're going to have companion components that will enhance that front end experience. Think of it, I'm laughing because the best analogy I can think of is when you go to a fast food and they're like, hey, do you want fries with that? You buy the burger, do you want fries with that? That's what that feeling is like with your order bumps. Then your one-time offer is hey, this is the only time that you can buy this product at this price for whatever reason. Now, we go much deeper inside of this, inside of my world, and I can give you tons of examples, but this is just to get you started so that you can start generating revenue today. Now, in order to do that, you're going to have to look at your relationship to selling and see it as a service, which I'll show you how to do in the next training. So if this was helpful for you, let me know down in the comments what questions you have for me. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. And so if this was helpful for you, it would be a huge favor to me if you would leave us a 5-star review and let me know over on Instagram at bsimpsonfitness, what are the questions that you have and how can we go deeper so that I can record more episodes for you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I'll catch you in the next one.